I am. We are on. So, uh, greetings, Zion Lutheran. As I was telling Paul earlier, you know this is important because I'm recording with my collar on. So, this September, we've just entered into September, and we've entered into our new community giving partner for our community giving, and it is. And I always get the name wrong. So I'm going to introduce Paul, and he's going to tell us the name. His name and the what we call the mission of this giving. So, hey, Paul, good to see you.
Good to see you, John, and your Rolling Stones t-shirt would have been just fine as far as I'm concerned. Paul Lindman here. I'm with KEX Radio, and that's been the home of the KEX Kids Fund since 1987. It's a charity my wife runs out of this very space. I mean, in November, we have our annual fundraiser out of our studios at KEX. We're completely listener supported. Their donations keeps our program going. But for the remainder of the year, Vicki is at this computer and this nice little Visa machine and telephone, and she keeps the thing going throughout the year, and with the help of our board of directors. But we've been providing glasses and hearing aids to kids in the greater Portland area, actually 16 counties of Oregon and Southwest Washington since 1987.
Oh,
Kids
wow.
whose families can't afford glasses and hearing aids. It's as simple as that.
All right. So, for those who are listening, let's see. Two questions that I had thought is if someone's interested and needs to reach out and get glasses or hearing aids, how do they? What's the process with that?
Well, the process is primarily through the schools historically. Teachers are aware of our program. School nurses are aware of our program, counselors, advisors. And the problem, John, is that many times a child's vision or hearing problem isn't identified as such. For some reason, this child is a slow learner, not thriving like his or her classmates. And sometimes it's a while before the problem is recognized as a vision or a hearing problem. That's why we lean on the schools and school personnel to tell us about the kids in need. They notify our service provider, which happens to be the Oregon Lion Sight and Hearing Foundation. We have a means of determining, the family's income situation to make sure they qualify for free glasses or hearing aids. And we take care of about 1,000 kids a year. Teachers, school nurses are very grateful for the program, and our reputation has grown to the point where we often get requests from well outside of the KEX listening area, well outside of the 16 counties that we directly serve, and we've never said no to a child in all of these years. We're proud of that.
Oh, that's wonderful. That is wonderful, and what a tie into community. And then since it's my calling as pastor, I can't help but tie it into when Jesus says, "Let those who have ears hear, and then let those who have eyes see." And it's a wonderful gift. I mean, we both wear glasses, and so we know the struggle that it is. If I couldn't imagine I got glasses when I was in, I think, first grade maybe, and so I couldn't imagine not having those. So that's such a gift.
I can't either, and we receive donations all the time for people, adults who have the means to give, and they had vision problems as children, and they remember what difficulty they had. We received a very nice donation from a woman last week, and I was talking to her about her situation. When she was in the first grade, she would literally borrow the glasses from the little girl next to her to look at the blackboard occasionally. And she remembers that, handing the glasses back and forth, and she is committed to an ongoing giving program with us as a result of her personal experience, and we find that to be the case many times.
Yeah. Well, this is one of those things where I tend to do. Earlier on, Paul and I were talking about the Lord's Prayer, and one of the things that I was mentioning is about how the act of forgiveness is tied into forgiving others in the Lord's Prayer. Forgive us as we forgive the others, and it's just the tie in between being able to see and having that experience and sharing the glasses. When you can relate and identify with an issue that a kid is going through, it really tugs at the heart.
Yeah, it does, and I really appreciate your connection to the biblical scripture. Those who have eyes that can see and ears that can hear. I've never thought of it in those terms. But the other part of that to me is we are asked to give in so many ways in these times, and it's hard to identify, where we make our donations, how we give back. And it's hard for Christians who want to serve and give back as the Lord instructed us to do, to know how to do that. Your church, Zion Lutheran, is the only organization, only church, I asked Vicki about this earlier, my wife who runs the program, that has given us a concerted effort over a month's period of time, and you're doing it again, and really making our charity and our efforts and the children we're serving your focus. And you're the only one that has done that in all the years the program has been around. But I think it's a value to your parishioners, because how do we give back? How do we serve? How do we help those in our community? And we're finding that we help kids in virtually every neighborhood of all the areas we serve. I mean, it could be the person next door that you don't know is struggling financially, especially now out of work or whatnot. And you're helping people near you, and you're helping people you will never hear about. I mean, when you give to the Kids Fund. So, John, we really appreciate what your church does and is doing again this year. It means a lot.
Well, we look forward to it for this month. And Paul, I appreciate you taking time in your morning in this quarantine time and however we call it. I appreciate that. And it's nice to actually have this technology to where we can connect this way. And
it really is. Our dens look remarkably alike. I've got more pictures like you back there. I feel like we're brothers on the computer now.
I tell you, it's a good thing we called each other to make sure that. I'm glad you painted yesterday, so that's helpful. So
my wall looks a little more purple, but it's actually closer to your color, but I must have a bad computer here. Hey, before I go, say hi to Mickey and everybody. I'm sorry I won't be able to be with you this year to enjoy those pies after service. But it was great visiting you last year, and I hope to have the opportunity again down the road.
All right, Mickey will see this. She'll say hi. And I know that your visit last year was appreciated. And so we thank you for your time. And I'm going to hit stop.